Hello, I'm Stewart Jackson. I work as a family counselor, and as such, I usually do more listening than I do talking. This is a little strange for me, but as I've listened to people over the last couple of weeks that we've been involved in responding to the coronavirus, I've just felt new issues and a new intensity and a new level of fear and anxiety amongst the people that I care about. And so I thought that I would put down some ideas about how can we think our way through this? How can we learn to respond to the challenges of living in a pandemic rather than being reactive to it and being driven by whatever the latest statistics or fears are? How can we continue to live by our principles rather than our fears and momentary feelings? That is a tall order. And I suspect that all of us, our lives have changed in pretty dramatic ways. We're at home more, I hope, and we are living with our families in a more intimate way than we have generally. So those of you who are alone, those of you who are ill, those of you who are crowded with family, those of you who are sad, this is not a good time for any of us. It's an anxious time. And maybe that's the most important thing to say today, is just the reality that anxiety is elevated for all of us. It affects all of us. And if you're feeling anxious, then that's normal. You should be anxious. We all should be. If you weren't anxious, I just think you're not in touch with what's happening to our friends, our families, our loved ones, our fellow human beings around the world. If there was ever any evidence that we needed that we are all connected on this planet and what happens in one area matters to the rest of us, then we're living in it now. But it's not easy. I was talking to a woman once who, she and her husband retired about the same time, and they were what they called empty nesters. And she told me she was struggling, and finally she would say, I married my husband for better or worse, but not for lunch. So they had to work out new ways of relating to each other, and it had to do with timing and all. Higher levels of anxiety will affect us physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially. Anxiety comes from a word that means to cause pain by squeezing. We get the same root, that root gives us the words like anger, angina, anaconda. Remember the last time you held an anaconda? No, me neither. But I can imagine. I watched nature programs. So if you're feeling tightness in chest, vague headache, tense shoulders, GI issues, feeling more confused, or it's not something wrong with you. This is a part of the world we're living in. What I'd like to do over the next few vlogs that, if you choose, you'd like to watch, is just offer some ways of thinking about this that in the biggest possible picture. If this is useful to you, I hope I'll see you again. But I hope that you will take care, be strong, and stay at home.